Muhammadu Buhari's spokesperson, Femi Adesina, says the president's fatherly calm was a significant factor in preventing bloodshed during nationwide demonstrations last month. Hundreds of Nigerians had peacefully protested in many states across the country in October to demand an end to years of wanton police brutality. At least 15 protesters were reportedly killed by police officers who cracked down violently on the demonstrations in the initial days, despite the government's attempts to meet the demands of the protesters. The demonstrations eventually culminated in the deadly attack by soldiers on peaceful protesters in the Lekki area of Lagos on October 20th, an attack that led to the death of a yet-to-be-determined number of protesters. The incident escalated into a breakdown of law and order in Lagos and across the country, with many incidents of looting and vandalism recorded. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, reported that 22 police officers were killed during the course of the protests and the violence that followed. Despite the public record of heavy-handed tactics employed by security operatives, many government officials have blamed the peaceful protesters for the eventual escalation. In an article published by Adesina late on Thursday, November 12th, he described Buhari as a beleaguered father who had to clean up the mess of his rebellious children. He said the president maintained that police officers not violently engaged the protesters despite alleged repeated provocation. The president's aide said something quite unsavory would have happened if the president did not operate with such restraint. Adesina said, if President Buhari hadn't exercised the restraint and tolerance of a father, at a time that even hitherto respected people instigated the protesters to carry on and they promptly went underground when anarchy ensued, we would have been talking of something else in the country. The rivers of Nigeria could have turned crimson and mourning and lamentations would have suffused the land. But we are thankful for the father in President Buhari, patient and enduring almost to a fault. Adesina noted that President Buhari remains the unbending iron from his days as a military dictator in the 80s, but that he has been tempered by democracy and time. May God continue to give this country good fathers who remain calm in turbulence, who keep their heads when others are losing theirs. He praised the president. Buhari's public handling of the demonstration was widely condemned as the president maintained his typical aloof stance while hundreds of Nigerians protested non-stop in multiple states. The president's only direct engagement with the subject was on brief mention during an event at the presidential villa and a overdue national address 2 days after the Lekki incident. The national address was panned by the public as the president notably neglected to acknowledge the Lekki shooting, where many eyewitnesses accused soldiers of shooting peaceful protesters and killings between 7 and 15 people. A judicial panel of inquiry set up by Lagos state government has not made much progress with investigating the incident, which has been plagued by many inconsistent stories from the army and the Babajide Sanwo-Olu-led state government. Well, what I can just say, I don't think anybody should expect anything less from what Adesina has said. The one thing I really want to say from this whole thing is that police, they were able to quickly tell us how many policemen died, but they cannot tell us how many people died during this process. And according to what Femi Adesina is saying, that if not because of Buhari, that the whole thing would have escalated more than this. And contrary to what he said, if Buhari had acted as a president, a competent president from the onset, a lot of the problems we are encountering in this country wouldn't have encountered them. I don't know who he's talking to. Of course, he's talking and he's trying to gladden the heart of Buhari, and for Buhari to be happy, and all of those who are supporting Buhari, you know, he's writing to all of those, those people, so that they will be happy, because that is exactly what they want to hear. But I don't think he's telling majority of Nigerians whether they are going to accept what he's saying, that if not for Buhari, things would have been worse. I don't know whether you agree to that, but let's hear what Nigerians are saying. Most importantly, whether they agree with what Femi Adesina has said. Well, Victor Brown says, I keep saying this. Femi Adesina is worse than Buhari himself. People argue. Just imagine the rubbish this man is saying. I'm speechless, like this man needs to be torn into pieces. It will never be well with your family. Haha. Oh my God. Saying that if not because of a Buhari calmness, if not for his fatherly intervention, that Nigeria would have been something else. And to me, contrary to what he said, it would have been better. It would not, all this problem wouldn't have ensued in the first place. If you say this of Buhari, then what will you say of Goodluck Jonathan, that handed over power even in the face of election fraud by the Northerner? Well, that is true if he asked the security retaliate. The people that started it was already leaving the country after what they create, because in Edo there was violence already in Benin at a third day before the Lekki issue. People have been shot in Benin. What this one is saying? Well, the one that flow at Lekki toll gate is kerosene, Abi. Okay, it is not blood. Nobody forced you to comment now. Okay, we couldn't understand your comments, so come again. Of course, can't even understand what he's trying to say. Why are all the blood flowing in North? He has not done anything. That's a good question. The ones that have been flowing on a daily basis, why has he not quenched that? So, if he has asked the security to shoot aside, it would have been nice, so nice, but the end will justify. Let such action trigger what we have been waiting for. All the Buhari aides are on high drugs and alcohol. Foolish people in Aso Rock, Abuja. Nigeria is a evil forest. Buhari aid is not normal. He has forgotten that Nigeria is practicing democracy, and for blood to flow more because protests will result to genocide. That president will face criminal charge in the international courts. Blood will still flow, most likely the blood of politicians. Blood didn't flow, hey? What happened in Lekki? No, nothing flowed though. Continue to say whatever you want to say. 2023 is around the corner. All I know, every government leader will rest at home come 2023. Youth go pepper them. Do not join issues with Femi Adesina because an imbecile thinks better than him. If a government spokesperson can reason in such manner in a democratic setup, then imagine what would have happened if it serves under military government. The likes of Femi Adesina in government is why Nigeria is a failed state. Buhari is not Nigeria's only problem, but the idiots he appointed in key positions. Adesina is not fit to be an office messenger in a sane setup, because he will misplace a very important file. How on earth is such a person assumes such important positions? Of course, you don't expect him to say anything. You want him to criticize the man that is paying him. Of course, he's going to praise him to high heavens. What do you expect him to do? He's doing exactly what they want him to do, and that is the reason why they put him there. So if he says otherwise, that means he's not fit for the job. For him to be saying this, that means he's fit for the job. Like I said, I don't know the people he's addressing, whether the same Nigerians that are hurting, millions of Nigerians that are hurting, that is telling this, or other people, or people from other country. And somebody was saying that some people created the problem and they left the country. They created the problem. So because they were the one that shot the protesters. The person that left the country, DJ Switch, and our only offense was that she went on live while the whole thing was happening. He went on live. That was his own this and they are looking for. He said you want him to stay there so that you continue to manipulate her. And I think she was the one that started this police brutality. She's part of NSAS. She's one of their staff that have been going around the whole country, messing up people, intimidating people, brutalizing people. I think she was the one that started it, because some people Of course, if Femi Adesina can be saying this, then what do you expect all those their supporters, the government supporters, especially Buhari supporters that are coming online? What do you expect if Femi Adesina could be saying this? I think he's the one who is heading those people who are always going from one platform to the other to be saying something that is not reasonable. Well, blood of your entire family should have flown. Adesina, okay. Adriana, had it been your rainfall where we okay, that one is saying something different. Buhari remained one of the father of the nation. Only he should fast track as Rose called themselves politicians are just too many. You forget that power is transient. One day you will leave office. So blood would have flowed because people clamored for an end to evil activities of SARS, right? It is a pity. Make una claim, make una calm, we say don't ready to lay ourselves for our future generations. Okay. Femi Adesina, enjoy your presence stay in Aso Rock, but remember the clock is ticking as the office you are presently occupying have eaten up your sense of reasoning. Whose blood? Perhaps yours and your families. Then blood would have flowed more than this. So guys, let's hear your opinion. Leave your comment below and let's know your thoughts on what Femi Adesina has said.